And welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of August 20th. I'm telling you, the dog days of summer are almost gone. Beautiful fall in front of you and lots of listings. Okay, we started with time management, conversations, prospecting, database. Skill number 4, the skill of, and I want to stress the word, aggressive lead follow-up. Now, let me throw a thought at you. I wrote down, they gave you their name, their number, email address, contact information for a reason. Be respectful, but be aggressive because they wouldn't give their name if they didn't want you to follow up. You know, I guess right now, if we took all the hundreds of thousands of great customers we have, and we totaled up all the leads that you folks have accumulated and held on to and are grooming and, nurturing, etc., you probably have millions and millions of dollars in commissions that are waiting to be actually given to somebody that would be aggressive. Now, we know in a highly competitive world, and we're involved in a highly competitive world today. In a highly competitive world, whatever the product, the service, the business may be, it could be a hotel, it could be a car wash, it could be an attorney. The more aggressive the people are in the building of that business, the better chance they have. Now, you've heard me say this time and time again. The biggest challenge we have in real estate today is our industry is attracting all these wonderful people like yourself, who often have no business experience and no sales experience. And then the job of the broker and Mike Ferry is to help formulate, and mold you into a great salesperson. Well, part of the molding process is having you become a little bit more aggressive. You have a name and number. You've met somebody at the store, at the supermarket. A neighbor says, our best friend wants to sell their home. And of course, we get excited on the spot naturally, big smile, name, address, phone number, email address, etc. Then we go back to the office and we have an 18-step drip email campaign follow-up program, which makes no sense whatsoever. Because even if you mail them something every day for 18 days, they don't read 90% of it. By the time the 18 days is up, they've listed with somebody else. So then we start this email drip campaign in lead follow-up. And then on week number 9, it says call the person. So you call them and they've forgotten who you are. Very common. And they haven't read your emails. Normal. And they say to you, we've already listed, sold, and closed. What happened to you? And then, of course, we want to be upset, angry, mad because these leads were not any good. Well, see, the truth is, every lead is a good lead. And it's good only if you call them to find out what the motivation of the lead actually is. So my job when I get a lead is to call the lead ASAP. Folks, before we have any conversation about getting your home sold, first may I ask you a couple of questions. Find out where they're moving to, why they want to move, how soon they want to be there. Find out basic information. Now, here's what you have to understand. You have a right to ask questions. Salespeople ask questions. Go to the doctor and you say, I don't feel good. They go, okay. No, they ask a lot of questions. Go to an attorney. I have a problem. Attorney says, okay. No, they ask a lot of questions. Selling is a system of questions. It's systematically finding out the need, the desire, and how we can solve the problem of the client. So they gave you their name for a reason. Be respectful, of course, but be aggressive because they wouldn't give you their name and number if they didn't want you to follow up. Second thought I wrote down. Ask for the motivation ASAP. A lack of motivation means you'll be spending a lot of time for no productive results. Now, people like to talk about real estate. It's a common conversation. We've brought this up before. So you get a lead and you say, well, folks, first of all, if I could ever help you get your home sold, I'd love to do it. And they go, well, gosh, that'd be great. And they say to you, so what do you think the homes are selling for? And you say, well, it looks like they're selling for $350,000 to $400,000. And they go, wow, wouldn't that be fun if we could sell for that much? And all of a sudden, you're in a conversation that is not leading to what your job description is, listing and selling homes. Your job is not to be involved in wonderful conversations with people that have no desire to sell. Now, some of you say, well, that's hardcore. Well, you're a hardcore, productive, professional salesperson. And a professional salesperson, whether it be IBM or Xerox or American Airlines or Marriott Hotel, the Mike Ferry Organization, or you, our job is to find out what is the motivation of the person. If we find out the motivation, bang, then we decide if we can be of help. I wrote down third thought. Don't be caught off guard. Aggressive lead follow-up is somewhat like prospecting / conversations because it's a numbers game. Not every lead turns into a commission check. So what I want you to do is this. Take a look honestly at all the leads you have right now. How many do you have? 4, 5, 3, 9, 10, 27. And put them all on a piece of paper. And then put a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, I don't think they're ever going to do anything. 10 is they're ripe to go. How many of your leads are an 8, 9, or 10? Because that's the ones you want to follow up on. Now, some of you say, well, I just hold on to leads and I nurture them and I groom them and I kind of work with them and eventually they... Now, folks, listen. If the goal is to sell 3 or 5 or 8 homes a year, nurture the leads. If your goal is to take 15, 20, 30, 50 listings a year, you got to be more aggressive in your follow-up. And you're going to go through and churn through some leads because, remember, everybody talks about real estate. Not everybody does everything about real estate. I wrote down this thought. Question. Is my mindset or my practice managing leads or going on appointments? A lot of the salespeople we meet are really leads management people, not appointment people. We don't get paid to manage leads. We get paid to go on appointments, make presentations, get contracts signed, and then get those properties sold. That's what we get paid to do. And yet I see people with these wonderful, elaborate lead follow-up systems. People ask me all the time, what is the best lead follow-up system you can advise me on? I said a stack of 3x5 cards. Probably 99 cents will buy you 100 of them. And when you get a lead, name, address, phone number, email address, cell phone on the left side. On the right side, is it a buyer for B or a seller for S? And you make a note of that. And then at the bottom, you put down the date you acquired the lead. Now here's the tough part. We'll see how aggressive you are. Next to it, the date you're willing to throw it away. Now some of you will write down, well, I got it on 7/15/2018. I'm willing to throw it away on 7/18/2022. What are you doing? Okay, if you're in that kind of a mindset, aggressive lead follow-up makes no sense to you. Your job is not to manage leads. Your job is to go on appointments. How many of the leads, now I want you to listen carefully, that you presently have, how many of the leads you presently have are going to sign a contract in the next 7 to 10 days? Think about that. Now you can say, well, I've got 10 leads and not one of them is going to sign a contract the next 7 to 10 days. Then do you really have any quality leads? Because see, why do we not aggressively follow up? Because we know they're not going to do anything. So what's the point in calling them all the time? Is there anybody within 5 miles of your office that's going to list and sell their home in 24 hours? Sure there is. Are they going to call you? No, they're not. Are you going to call them? No, you're not. And if you do find them and they want to list their home, shouldn't you be more aggressive? I wrote down this thought. The objective in lead follow-up is to set appointments now, not to keep building rapport. Watch. Don't get mad. We only build rapport when we don't know what to say. If you don't know what to say, you have to build rapport. If you know what to say, you can get to the point, which is what a valid, qualified lead wants you to do. It's like going on a listing presentation. Watch. Folks, they don't want you to spend 20 minutes telling them how much you love the house. They want to know, watch, how much is it going to sell for? How long will it take to sell? And what are you going to do to get it sold? That's what they want to know. And if we're spending all of our time building rapport, then we're not getting to the point. Non-salespeople build rapport. Professional salespeople ask questions to get to the point of creating a solution to a problem that a person has. Then I wrote down the last point for today. Prospecting continually without aggressive lead follow-up is a waste of your time, energy, and therefore your money. Okay? Prospecting, talking to people every day, continually being involved in conversations. Without aggressive lead follow-up is simply a waste of your time. I mean, why generate? I've seen this so many times. Mike, I've got this stack of lead cards here. Great. What are you doing with them? Well, I'm kind of getting ready to get going, to get moving, to do something maybe tomorrow if I have the time, provided nothing comes up. What do you mean? Well, I'm prospecting a lot, so I'm getting more leads. Wait a minute. If you're prospecting a lot, which is of course something we all have to do, and you're not following up, aren't you wasting your time? Of course you are. So I want you to think carefully. Okay, now watch. We've talked 4 weeks ago about setting a schedule that is productive, get you a listing. We talked about prospecting / lead generation / conversations. We talked last week about the value of your database. And today we're talking about taking some of those results and taking action on them with the lead follow-up that you do. I'm excited for you because here we are now, only about 10 days away from the fall season starting. And we both know kids are back to school the end of August. September, the market lights up again. So let's be prepared for that light up in the market. I will look forward to seeing you soon. I hope a lot of you are watching the Superstar Retreat that you could have purchased and probably still can for a very minimal cost, and you have 10 days to watch it and learn what we taught. If you were there, keep reviewing it. Talk to you next week. Thanks.